Right. And ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Welcome to the 2022 UVM opening ceremonies. Starting us off today will be Master Chuang.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to say welcome we made it to the end of our first year of competition back in person, full season, after having to cut short our 2019-2020. So it's just been fantastic. I know we had some hiccups with the Cornell tournament being canceled, but I wanted to just give a huge shout out to the tournament staff, ECTC tournament staff for pivoting to that online tournament. I know they didn't get much sleep that weekend. And then also to the Cornell team, kudos for setting up for an event, not getting to hold it, then having to run another event the next weekend and pulling that off. And to the referee corps for those people who kind of push themselves into roles that they're not usually comfortable with, and hopefully we develop some new talent for that too. I think it's been a theme all year that everyone kind of just having to do what it takes, and the referees have been and TC and volunteers. We've all been all over it at every step of the way. Congrats also to everyone who competed at Collegiate Nationals. Thank you for your support. Great ECTC presence there. A lot of great success stories there. A lot of ECTC in the standings and on the medal stand. So really proud to see that as well. Thank you again, Master Schulte and Master Sarathi for being key players in that event. Definitely could not have done it without them. And we even had some newly minted USA Taekwondo referees at that event, so that's great. Hey, we're here at UVM once again, closing our season out. It's a tradition for our league to have that event there and to end on that really high note where it's a little smaller, so it's a little more intimate. We get to enjoy each other's company. Huge kudos to Umaima, President Umaima, Master Schulte, Master Hart, for always doing a great job with organization, and I'm confident it's going to be the quality event that it always is. We're gonna have our usual traditions. We're gonna have the award the league cup. We're gonna have our senior picture. We're gonna hopefully see that wonderful green turf again, and and just enjoy the day together. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing all of you. I'm gonna hand it over to Master Schulte, who of course is one of the instructors at UVM, and have him say a few words. All right, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, sir. Yeah, I mean, I think Master Tron covered it very nicely. I know the UVM club has been working really hard these last few weeks to get ready for this, and they're excited. It's going to be since 2019 that we've had the in-person tournament, right? So it's a great opportunity to get everybody back together to really close out that season. I think we're ready to go. It's going to be great. As Master Trong said, it's a smaller event, and it's going to be very fun. So we'll go through all the details of it here, but yeah, just appreciate everybody's work to get ready for this. We do have some new referees that started helping us out this season. Some of them will be at UVM. Some of you will be helping us officiate, and in addition to coaching your teams and such. So appreciate everybody's willingness to wear multiple hats and to make the event happen. So looking forward to this one, and we'll go right over to Mr. Esty for a review of our slides and kind of information to get us started off and on the same page.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Master Schulte. So yeah, I'm going to go through the slides here briefly just for the opening ceremonies to give some basic information on what to expect for the event. So this is the UVM tournament, so the last one of the season. Congratulations, made it through a great season. Definitely a lot of excitement, great energy to have everyone back on the mat again. We had opening remarks, of course, from Master Trong and Master Schulte, and I am looking forward to seeing everyone in person again at UVM for this tournament. Overall, we'll go through the quick announcements that we have that's specific for the UVM tournament and go over the standard tournament flow. There's a few things that'll be different this time than what we had in our previous tournaments, just slightly, so just make sure everyone is aware of those differences and ready for that. And we'll go through our closing remarks. So this time we currently have 267 athletes as of 8 p.m. to date. So I haven't checked the new numbers. We might be up a little bit more from that. As of right now, it is 10:07 p.m. on Thursday. So registration has closed 6 minutes ago. Registration closed. If you have any concerns or any questions or something is wrong or you didn't finish your registration, email us immediately so we can figure out what needs to be done. But at this point, all registration should be closed. You should have all your athletes put in, and we'll be conducting our weigh-in starting tomorrow for the sparring events. So 267 athletes, 16 schools, It is going to be a phenomenal event. Of course, it's like Master Trong said, a little bit smaller, a little more close-knit, but it is still going to be a lot of great energy, and I can't wait to see everyone there. So this is the UVM tournament. Again, we do want to continue to maintain smaller crowding, just keeping good distance between everyone, and we want to make sure that we're able to effectively run the event. So making sure that the crowding, if there's any space that is limited, especially around the rings, making sure that should not be spectators directly pushed up against the rings. That's why we have that boundary, and we'll show you a little example of what the layout's going to be, so you know where to stand. And just in general, if we're able to keep that under control, would be fantastic. I always appreciate the coaches who step in and make sure like everyone is doing their best. This is an event, you know, like ECTC in general, especially here being the last one of the season, that's about the sport. It's about sportsmanship. It's about making sure that you are out there with your team, with your fellow athletes, with your fellow schools who are also competing and putting on this event with you. Just making sure that, you know, you're out there putting out your best, but making sure you're having a good time too, and making keeping those values of sportsmanship and fair sport, and making sure that you're presenting that ECTC values well. I know what people have been doing a great job with that. This has been a phenomenal season, and I'm looking forward to seeing that continue at UVM. We will continue to be tracking scores for standing. So this is a scored event. Whether or not we finish all the events, let's say one of the divisions does not fully finish out, we will still distribute those scored points amongst the winners evenly there. So whatever the final standings are, whoever makes it, if we end at semifinals or wherever we end, we'll make sure that everything is distributed. So this is a scored event, no matter what. Of course, COVID precautions are much the same as before with the medical masks, needing to be actual medical masks like a surgical mask or N95 or KN95, KF94. You can pick those up. They are available and limited supply at the head table. Please bring your own if you have them. Cloth masks will not be allowed. One of the changes here, though, is wearing a mask during competition is going to be optional. So whether you're doing poomsae or sparring, when you step out onto the mat and it's your time to present, right before you go out onto the mat, you are allowed to take that mask off if you would like to perform that way. But outside of that, please keep your mask on, so that way we can make sure everyone is safe. And we're going to continue to be pretty strict about that and ask the coaches to also keep track of their athletes, making sure everyone's following the precautions so we can continue to host events like this and make sure we're meeting all the requirements from the host schools. So thank you very much for that. This is a beautiful layout of the day and the arena that we're going to be competing in here. I believe Master Schulte put this together. So this each square here is a 1 foot by 1 foot, so it kind of gives you a good layout. You'll see here that we have a total of 6 rings this time. So even though it is a smaller event with less athletes actively competing, we also have less full staff, so we will have only 6 rings running at this event, which means it's going to still be a full day. And there is always still a chance that we don't end up completing all of the events, all of the divisions to their entirety. So please bear in mind that this is about just getting everyone out there on the mat, having as much experience as possible, and just bringing your best for the day. That's what it's about. So if we don't finish a division, that's okay. That's, you know, just bear with us. But we'll try to get everyone complete and get as far as we can. Hopefully we're able to complete most of those. Did you have something to add in there, Master Schulte?
Just real quick, that there is also a team space, like sort of an overflow space, a place to put your gear and such, because as you can see, the standing room around that outer perimeter is not huge, right? It's adequate to stand and cheer for your team and all of that, but you know, maybe not all of your equipment and bags and everything that you brought with you. So we will have a couple of basketball courts set aside nearby, just a little ways down the hall. If you were at MIT, for example, there was a similar arrangement with another floor that was available to us, and it'll be something like that. So that space will be available. You'll be able to see where it is. We'll have signs, and then, you know, it's certainly fine to come in and cheer for your team. If you do have sort of extra people on the floor, if they're able to sometimes move off to that other space, that would be great just from a crowding standpoint. But I think we're going to have a good time, and the smaller size of the tournament helps with that a bit. And as you can see here, you know, you kind of come into this room on the lower right and then up into the holding area if your match has been called, and from there you'll be sent out to a ring. and you can exit on one end of the floor or the other after the match. Yep, thank you.
Yes, sir. Oh, thank you, sir. Yeah, that's something I do want to reinforce too, is as soon as your match is done, if you're not competing, please make sure you exit the boundary so you can enter the spectating area where you can cheer on your friends and keep the competition floor open so we can keep things flowing nicely. So as Master Schulte said, right, you're going to have the holding area here down in the bottom. I'll show where you'll have all that information. It'll be pretty standard. It'll be emailed out. And there'll also be a view that will be available to you so you can tell when your match needs to go to holding. Once it's through there, the standard process of you're going to go from holding into your staging area. Once all of your team is checked, whether for Pumse, checking that everyone has everything set, the team is essentially there for Pumse, and for sparring, of course, checking that you have all of your gear and you're ready to go, nails trimmed, no earrings or any like bracelets, can't have any of that. So just make sure, give your team a quick check before you come into holding, so that way we can make that staging process even smoother and get you out there competing even faster. This will be the head table above the staging. So if you need anything that interacts with the head table, that's where it'll be. Medical being right behind that. Next to the holding area here, this yellow bar is a screen where we'll have a projector that will show the match status. So all of the matches that are in holding can use that in order to see what's going on and when their match needs to move, or people will be able to look from outside the spectator zone, or from outside of the competition zone in the spectator area surrounding the orange. You'll be able to see that as well, so you can tell who should be entering holding and not. Yeah. From there, couple reminders: there is no food consumption allowed in the actual competition area. So to go back one slide, that's in the green would be this would all be the competition area here. And even I think on the pavement, they probably don't want that either. So if you're going to eat, from my understanding, it needs to be kept in that area that Master Schulte was just talking about, separate from the competition area. We do not want to be getting food in the green here or in the actual competition area. So please keep an eye on each other for that and be accountable for your teammates that they're following that procedure. So thank you very much. Yeah, so we'll go on here to call times. So the call times, these are a little bit flexible. They should be clear call times here based on the numbers that were coming in. We have our normal flow of our Pumse events in the morning and sparring events kind of in the more afternoon, with our call times for our PC teams happening at 8 a.m. The PA teams will be, so our 18 Pumse being at 8:15 a.m. right after. And then a little bit later, 9 a.m., our B team Pumse teams will be called into holding. So that'll be your call times for that. Then we'll have the Pumse teams finish up. We'll have the whole divisions finish up for Pumse, and we'll start our sparring more in the afternoon. Starting with 11 a.m. will be our first call time for the men's A. Then 12 p.m., so at noon, we'll have the men's C teams. 12:30 will be the women's A. 2 p.m., women's C. 2:30 p.m. in the afternoon, we'll have the women's B teams and men's B teams both getting called in. So hopefully at that point, 2:30 p.m., we'll have that last division get started, and hopefully we'll be able to finish up everyone right on time. Of course, we are still adhering to that 7:30 rule since there is travel, so that is always in place. Going forward here, so like I said, we're following the normal flow where we're going for Pumse first, which will be the team format. So that is the 3v3, where it's 1v1, 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 and the best of those three wins. We will be emailing out the match numbers. So later, I would say by tomorrow, or at the very least early tomorrow, you will have emailed out the brackets for the Pumse. So those will be out, and in those brackets, like normal, you will be able to see your team, who you'll be up against, where you are in the bracket, and in addition to that, right in between will be your match number. So make sure you know your match number, because that is how you know when you're going to be called into holding. So that will be emailed out, the brackets, and on the day of, as we get started with the event, we'll be emailing out notices for when match number blocks should be called into holding. So when it's, let's say, 101 to 104, if your match number is 103, when you get that email, you're going to be called into holding. So make sure you guys get there quickly. As soon as you see that email, you know you should be in holding. But also keep an eye on the projector screen as well, or have someone who can keep an eye on the projector screen for kind of the coaching side to make sure you're keeping track of what teams need to be in holding, in case the emails, if they go out and maybe you don't see it or don't receive it. There's always that chance. Kind of sometimes some people may not receive the emails if they get blocked or something. So just make sure you're keeping a good eye on the match schedule. Once your match is called to holding, that's where you guys actually go to holding. Please be with your whole team. Poomsae, it still matters, definitely for sparring. Make sure you're with your whole team, so that way we can get you guys all checked in and you're ready to go, and we can move you right along into the staging. The holding area manager will inform the athletes when to go to that staging. So just be there, be present. Don't kind of hide in the corner, please. Try to, let them know, hey, I'm here. We're match number so-and-so, so they know that you're there. Try to avoid having them hunt you, and instead hunt them out so you know that you can let them know you're there. It's the normal flow to make sure that the tournament is going as smoothly as possible. There's no better athletes than ECT athletes at tournament flow. We will have ring runners that will be in charge of walking you to your ring. So this is important for our athletes and especially our coaches to know too. We will have the ring runners, but still be accountable that when you are in your staging and you're about to go to your ring, that you let the ring table know that you're there. The ring runners should take care of that for you, but just make sure that you're not just floating around as if you're in the crowd, and that it's clear that you are at that ring and you'll be up next. That'll always help us to have more of the people aware of that information. Once you compete, you go, best of luck, do your best. You will see the results. For Poomsae, you will be looking, right, because it will be randomized between who goes first, second, or third. You will not know that until you get to the ring. Like normal, you will have that presented to you on the screen. So once you go there, it'll tell you who goes first and who you'll be up against, second and third if you have a full 3-person team. And from there, after that presentation, you finish and you have the winning team, then make sure that you exit the competition area, as I stated, just to keep things flowing smoothly. If you advance, then continue to keep an eye on the bracket, continue to keep an eye on the match schedule. If you look at that bracket, or even the match schedule as well, you will be able to see what your next match number is. So get that down, get that in mind, so you can continue to track yourselves. Right. For sparring, much the same. We're going to be emailing everything out. It'll be on the projector. It'll be in the brackets, so you can see online. You can see your status and what your match number is. The only difference, of course, being that you're going to have all the gear. So make sure you guys get your gear on. When you show up to holding, you should have all your team members, whether it's 3, 2, or 1, and you should have all of your gear. Make sure, look at each other, double check. Do we have the headgear? Do we have the mouth guard? Has everybody got their nails trimmed? Hey, you don't need that bracelet, whatever it is, help each other. And then once you get into holding, we'll do the official gear check before we move in that staging, like I said. Same flow though, once you are through staging, the ring runners will take you out, but this time they will stop before the ring to get dado set up. So they'll get you set up with your EE Hogus and everything you need there. And then they will escort you to the ring like normal. Once you compete, as you can see, the orange is important here. The other thing with the dado is that needs to be returned back. So do not walk away with dado. I don't think we've had too many issues with that with ECTC, and we definitely will not for the last tournament of the season. So make sure that you return the Hogus back and wipe down the Hogus. I believe the athletes will be wiping down if we don't have staff on hand. So just make sure that they're in the right spot, they're cleaned, they're ready to go, and then you may leave the competition area and get ready for whatever's next in your day. All right. So a couple quick information points for how to view what's going on. So how to view the division brackets and check the match status. So like I said, things will be emailed out. We'll email out the bracket links for Poomsae tonight. And then once weigh-ins are done on Friday, and then the final check is done on Saturday, kind of at Saturday morning of the event, we'll be emailing out the sparring brackets as per usual. So those will all go out there. Inside those brackets, so the brackets like you've may have seen before, showing you your matchup and your match number, there will also be a tab that will show the current like match status. That'll show all the matches that are currently called to holding or any that are actively out on the competition floor. So you can also keep an eye on that on one of your devices in order to just track what's going on with the tournament and whether or not your team should be in holding. So that's always a useful thing to check. That same display will be presented on the projector screen as well, so you can see it there. I believe we'll have one at holding and yeah, like I said, one in the team space. So that way, when everyone's back in the team space, you'll be able to see that as well without needing to come all the way out into the holding area. Things should be available, I believe, at our website at ectconline.org. So you should be able to see everything there. You should have access to the brackets. Other than that, each ring is going to be presenting its own set of information with the table monitor. So if you aren't sure who's competing, you can see at each ring they'll have information up and available. So this is similar to pretty much what you're going to see in that match data. So like I said, it's going to show you, it won't show you anything that's inactive, but it'll show you all of the matches that are currently in holding or active out on the floor, and it'll even show you if they already have a ring assigned. It'll show you that assigned ring. One thing worth noting always, you are going to be walked to the ring by the ring runner. If you see an assigned ring, that doesn't mean you should go to that ring. That is for the ring runner to make sure that you get to that destination and all the information is passed off correctly. So wait for them. We'll give you all the directions you need. You're in good hands. From here, this is an example of that bracket I was talking about. So just to give an example here, it clips it at the top, but at the top on the actual sheet here, you'll be able to see what round we're actively in. So from here, this one, for example, match number 111, that's MIT's PA1, light, middle, heavy, versus Rutgers PA5, light, middle. For Pumse, of course, there is no light, middle, heavy. This does not mean an order. It just indicates it's a 3-person team versus a 2-person team. For sparring, that will, of course, matter, light, middle, or heavy matchups. These brackets will naturally fill out throughout the day, so you'll be able to track the tournament through that. A few quick reminders here. For Pumse, please, like I said, make sure you check the monitor. That's when you get to the ring and you actually get started. That's what's going to tell you your lineup of who's going first. For sparring, when your team is called to holding, like I said, have all that gear. Reiterating here because it is always worth it. Makes the tournament go a little better. And when you finish competing, exiting the area, making sure sparring, return the dado, return your hogu, get everything cleaned and in the right spot, please. And we will be requiring corner judges as much as possible from the league to volunteer. Like I said, this is a smaller event, which means we also have some smaller staffing. So anyone who's willing to step up, even if you're not quite sure and you're thinking about it, but maybe you'll never, please, this is the perfect time. This is exactly the perfect time for you to step up and get some experience and kind of help out and give back a bit to the league that has, for me, done so much already. So if you're willing to step in and do a little bit of corner judging from any of the schools, we would love that. And definitely going to put a little bit on the coaches to identify if you have any of your teammates who are available to do some corner judging, kind of push them in that direction and send them to the head table or I think pretty much to the head table where myself and Ray will be, who can set that all up for you. We'll make sure you're in the right spot and you have everything you need. Couple things that are newer this tournament. So again, we are selling the used Gen 1 dado socks. So they're a complete sale. So you can buy them at the event for $40. So that is available. Just see a TC member at the head table, I think is where we'll have all of that. We are, since this is the last event of the season, we are going to do all of the big ceremony events. So that includes, we're going to do pictures of any graduating seniors. I believe we're going to do that in the beginning as part of the opening ceremony. So have those graduating seniors ready to go. Make sure they have big smiles. Make sure they didn't just wake up from a nap with messy hair. Take care of those seniors. They need it. We will also have those closing ceremonies. So that is the big end of the season awards and all the announcements for the teams and the individuals who will be awarded from the season. So make sure you guys stick around for that. Individual medals, though, just to make sure that we're ending on time and keeping things flowing, individual medals are going to be handed out throughout the event. So as soon as your division is completed or wrapped up, you can go right to the head table and we'll have someone present those medals to you so that way you can collect those. So make sure as the teams go and the divisions wrap up that you guys are coming to us to get those medals before the event is fully complete. All right. I believe that is it.
Yes, sir.
Any other notes on your end there, Master Schulte?
No, I think we're good, and then we'll switch over to the coach and black belt meeting, and we'll recap some of this real quick and take a little bit closer look at the rules and questions and such.
Beautiful. Yes, sir. Thank you. All right. Well, to all of the athletes, safe travels and best of luck on Saturday. I cannot wait to see everyone. For the black belts and the coaches, like Master Schulte said, we're having that meeting in just a couple minutes. There is a separate Zoom link for that. It's a webinar link, so that way you're able to interact with us and send us direct questions if you have any questions that pop up. So we will see everyone on that side in about 3 minutes. Thank you so much, everyone. And again, best of luck. Take care.